Hello and welcome, and hopefully welcome back. What I have here is Packet Tracer, obviously, and I've from the last video added the 2811 router to the infrastructure, and I've given it the address of 192.168.1.3. This one's 1.1, and the workstation is 1.2, so that we can look at some of the things that we've done. Last time we configured telnet, a couple passwords, banner. What I want to do is go back and look at banners. In the real world of Cisco, you'll notice that something really missing from a router is like a keyboard and as well as a monitor. The way we would do that, and we configured in Packet Tracer with the from the RS-232 with a rollover cable to the console port. Then we would go back into our Packet Tracer workstation and go into the terminal. You have to have some sort of a terminal available to you. There are a number of softwares for both Windows and Linux out there. PuTTY is one that I'm particularly fond of. Terminal is built in Windows XP. Doesn't come with Windows 7. The configuration is going to be 9600 bits per second, 8 data bits, parity is none, stop bits 1, and flow control none. And when you do the CCNA, you're probably going to have to configure this, and it's not going to be set up correctly. But that's the configuration that we need. So when I do that, now it says router console is now available. Enter. We're on the router. So we'll look at some configurations here on the 2800 because, well, we can do that. Let's show to be sure that we're there. Show version. And when we go into the version here, we're the C2800 Advanced IP Services as we were before. So we are on the correct router. Again, we're now in user mode. To get into privilege exec mode or enable mode, EN, which is going to be unique. I can use the tab key. It'll complete the command for you. And then to change the name, config T shortcut command, configure terminal with the with that, and we'll type host name my second router. Let's call it ISR router. You don't want to use spaces in the name, and you'll notice that the name has changed immediately when we do this. The other thing that we want to look at are banners. And banners, remember, right now we're in a configuration mode that configures the router, not a sub interface, not anything specific. So banner, we have login banner and message of the day that we can configure with this one. So let's do a banner MOTD and then a question mark. What it says is C banner text C. C is the delimiting character. The key here is to have a delimiting character. Delimiting character can be anything. It's kind of like the start. We'll put this character in start what the banner is going to be, and at the end of it we'll put in stop what the banner is going to be. So let's use something that's a little different, like the pound sign. And then I hit the enter key, and then it says enter the text, and I'll do something really clever like go away. I enter here, and now we need to put the delimiter at the end. We have in the character with the pound sign, it says enter the text message, and end with the character pound sign when I selected the pound sign as my delimiting character. The message of the day. The other one that we could use was banner login, right? And complete command, of course. So the question mark, C, banner, and then we want the delimiter. And let's say this is the login message. and then it says end it with the delimiting character, and it tells me what it is. This is the login message. So what's going to happen when we do these things? Okay, now that we've set the login banner, we need to go back and configure something so that we would have to log in. Let's go back and do the telnet one more time. So we're in the privilege mode. So to get there, we have to go to config. Got to spell it right. T, where the tab key comes in handy. And I'm going to go to line VTY04 on this one. I could do line VTY0 question mark, and it'll tell me 1 through 15. I could have up to 15 telnet lines. It kind of seems a little bit of overkill unless you want 15 people to be able to telnet into your router simultaneously. So 044 is probably too many. A lot of users only use one line, or two lines, 1, 0, 1 or 0, 0 at the top and the end. So line VTY04. So now then, we need to configure. Let's do this one the other way around and do it right. Password. Really something clever here. And now we have to enable the login. If we do the question mark, the things that we can do, login says that we can log into it. If I use the command no login, I wouldn't need to use that password. Let's do the login to see the banner, and then I'll come back and do the no login command. So log in, and I didn't get the message that I got in the previous video that says I got to set the password, because I'd already set the password. And again, to get out of here, I can go up one level with exit or end and get back to the user exec mode. So now that we have done that, let's go to PC 0. I'm on PC 0, so let's close this and go to the command prompt and see if we can telnet to 192.168.1.3. It asks me for the password, and I configured it. This is the login message, so it shows up. Before somebody logged in, they would get the message that says go away or whatever we wanted to do. This is a private router, you're subject to prosecution, something to that nature. The reason we want to do that and not say welcome is there have been court cases that have said, hey, he said he was welcome, and they hacked the network, but they were welcome. And I do password, and now I'm on my ISR router. So I have two ways to get there. One, the console connection, and now through the telnet connection. We've looked at passwords. I guess that we could do enable here, and again it says we have no password set. So what I would need to do is now go back to the terminal, and notice my terminal connection is still going. So I can go into config T and set my enable password, enable secret, and that's the one that it really wants. Enable secret. We also have in Cisco, if I want to show the running configuration, show run, it says I can't do that. I can't do that from the config command. Sometimes it's inconvenient to go up and down. So what Cisco's given us is this do command, which allows us to do commands in other levels of the router. So we could do show run, and if I hit the tab key, do show run, shows me the running configuration. The enable secret here is a level 5 password, and this is its hash. So it is a hashed password. When we go on down to the password for the telnet password, line VTY04, the password is password. It is not a secure password. The reason that we have that, if I can get back to it, back to my show running configuration, up here, one of the first things we have is no service password encryption. If I wanted to encrypt those passwords, let's see if I can do service password encryption. So we should now have encrypted those other passwords. And when I go down here, password, it's a level 7 encryption. This is not a real strong encryption. If you want to try this out, go do this on one, copy the hash and go onto Google and look up something like crack Cisco password. Doesn't take very long to do these. This is not nearly, as you notice, not nearly as long a hash as the previous one was. I want to go here real quickly to the console line and look at a couple of things there, what we can do. So we'll go into configuration mode, config T, and then we're going to do line console. We could do the tab 0. If we look at the options here, 0 to 0, we only have one option. So line con 0. If I look at the help screens, we have a lot of things here. Login, enable password checking. So we can do a password. We can do login just like we did with the telnet password. One of the other commands we have here is exec timeout. What the exec timeout does is sets how long the telnet session will be, or the console session will be valid until it times out. You walk away from you're connected to the console, you walk away from it. You really would like for it to time out at some point in time. The default for this is 10 minutes. If I want to configure this thing, timeout into question mark, timeout in minutes. If I do, we're going to have it timeout in minutes and then seconds. If I do a 0/0, it means that the time that it never times out. So 0/0 doesn't time out at all. The other thing that I can do, exec timeout, question mark 0 to 35,791 minutes. So let's say 10 minutes. And then the other question mark to 2,147,483 seconds. So let's just say that we want to set it back to the default 10 minutes. Enter. So now my console session with inactivity will time out after 10 minutes. What I also wanted to do was go back and let's see if we can do that no login for the telnet session, just to see if that works. I'm here in line con 0. I don't have to go back to the config mode to go from one subconfiguration to the other subconfiguration. So I'm going to go to line VTY 0 4 and do no login. So now let's go back to, if I can find it, our PC. Oh, I'm still on the PC, I keep forgetting that. And the command prompt, and we'll log out, and then we will telnet to 192.168.1.3, and I'm into the router. Still get the logon message, but it lets me straight into the router. I think I'm going to stop here and work on the next one. We'll do SSH and do some other things. We've done the do command and those sorts of things. Well, actually, I think we'll stop here and do SSH in a separate video. I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope this has been useful. Thank you.